But what was interesting, though, is the fact that Zack Snyder decided, hey, let's talk about that Wonder Woman 1854 image and all the heads and everything when it came to that, because a lot of people thought that was maybe a screenplay was written or something, and I was always like, no, it was just an idea. But the fact of the matter is, that idea was discussed a lot, apparently. Zack Snyder, Empire Magazine. First off, Empire Magazine posted something that is freaking awesome, and I wish that they would. I want to get this on my wall and put it as a frame and remove some of the text. But did you guys see this right here? Oh! Into the Snyderverse. For 20 years, Zack Snyder has unleashed his very specific brand of gods and monsters, provoking strong reactions without fail. As Rebel Moon Part 2, The Scargiver, prepares for launch, we put him in front of his most spirited audience yet, and that is you. But look at that. Got everybody in there. Look at all the characters. They're all there. And he did talk about the fact that, they asked him about Sucker Punch, but he's talked about it many times. He's even talked about it on the Vodka stream that, when it comes to legacy deals and the contracts and everything, there's only so much he could do. And they did ask him about that again. There was like a little clip that came out, little Empire Magazine article that came out where he talked about it. Like, they just give me a little, it's like everything is filmed. They just needs to be edited. Sound, maybe some VFX, who knows. But what was interesting, though, is the fact that Zack Snyder decided, hey, let's talk about that Wonder Woman 1854 image and all the heads and everything when it came to that, because a lot of people thought that was maybe a screenplay was written or something, and I was always like, no, it was just an idea. But the fact of the matter is, that idea was discussed a lot, apparently. Zack Snyder explains scrapped Wonder Woman 1854 story. We talked about it so much. So yeah, in the interview with Zack Snyder, we posed him with reader questions, and among them came up the topic of Wonder Woman 1854 and what it might have been. Allow Zack Snyder himself to explain. The idea of that was an early riff we were doing once Wonder Woman left the island in search of Ares. What happened to her in her different incarnations? My idea for it was that she would travel around the world looking for Ares, and she would go to every place where there was conflict. The resulting story would have been a combination of love and war. On those battlefields, she found these lovers, warriors, and they would age out because she is immortal. They would be her lover for 10 years, or they might die in battle, and it was probably sad for a lot of guys because they would see her starting to be nice to the next young soldier and be like, oh, I'm being replaced. But all the guys that she had with her were those loyal warriors she found on the battlefields all over the world. Something tells me, guys, that they weren't all just guys. I'm just saying, you think Diana was, I think she was a little, she was a free spirit. Definitely a free spirit. That's all I'm saying. It's like, definitely a free spirit. Ultimately, the story would have led to Diana and Chris Pine's Steve Trevor. We talked about if Steve was there in Crimea. Snyder confirms and said Wonder Woman's journey through the Snyderverse took another path, but that one shot from Steven Berkman remained. It was never a screenplay, but we talked about it so much that it kind of had its own thing. So yeah, there's some people out there, and I've talked to these individuals that actually thought that there was an actual like screenplay. It's like, no, there was just like a little bit of a backstory. He had the ideas and they talked about it. There was like an outline, I guess you could say. So that's the story behind Wonder Woman 1854, which sounds awesome, but at the same time, the Wonder Woman movie was still great and still very much worked. But maybe as an Elseworlds comic book, animation, I don't know, something could be, brought to, at least that.